Welcome everybody to a new LongBox Paradox. I am Dan. Happy to have you all here and joining me. I am flying solo this week. So there was a little bit of comic news that broke today. My favorite Cable, Fuckboy Cable, is getting canceled on issue 12. I don't know if they're going to be bringing back old Cable. We've been talking about possibly them bringing back old Cable. They haven't really divulged what's going on with that. I'm a little sad to see young Cable go away. I've enjoyed that Jerry Duggan, Phil Noto series. Probably going to talk about Wanda Vision a little bit later in the episode because I watched it this morning before Disney Plus crashed. From everybody watching it, probably trying to avoid spoilers. So we'll get into that a little bit. I'll avoid spoilers as much as possible. So getting right into the reviews. Book that got a lot of hype for about a year now, probably because of Keanu Reeves being involved. Berserker came out. And yes, that clip from Clerks is still playing in my head every time I say, Berserker, do you want to suck my dick, Berserker? Again, a lot of hoopla to this, a lot of variants. Keanu Reeves involved, Matt Kinch probably writing a majority of it. Ron Garney on art. One thing I will say about this book, it was high energy. It was very frenetic. It kept going. I thought that was kind of a positive. It was very energetic, even though there was that trope of talking to your therapist about all your horrible things that you have going on. At the same time, it was also tropey because it felt like someone took Eternal Warrior from Valiant and mashed it together with Lazarus by Greg Rucka. It's kind of sad to see it go. Duggan I think this is one of his better written books, and Phil Noto's art I just love. John, that scene will always live rent-free in my head, 100%. So Berserker wasn't a bad book. Garney's art, I thought, was a lot darker than normal. Again, not a bad book, but I felt like I was reading other comics. I don't know how involved Keanu Reeves was in it, or if he was just like, hey, I'd like to see this, so let's put this in there. I'd say it was like a 6 for me. It's hyper violent, like unbelievably violent. Limbs getting ripped off, heads getting stomped, like pinatas, super, super violent, ripping innards out, children being killed. But a quick read, it just flew by. So I thought this was going to be a train wreck of a book when it came out, and it is not actually. So I feel like it's worth picking up to check out. It's not going to be for everyone. Again, Eternal Warrior mixed with Greg Rucka's Lazarus. Except Forever Carlisle's a little bit more compelling, at least in my opinion. But still, I think for a first issue, for me, giving it a 6.5, 7 is not bad. Especially with as light on dialogue as I felt it was. From Marvel Comics, America Chavez, #1. I surprisingly like this. I like this a lot more than the last America book that came out. I did not love the art as much as I wish I had, but it worked for what it was. The fact that it talked a lot about her adopted family, I also thought. I did not get ENIAC. ENIAC disappeared and my comic store got none of it, but I have heard a shitload about ENIAC and how much it's going for online. And also a comic store getting banned for selling theirs on eBay because they were in agreement not to, for 30 days, raise the price on it for customers. I believe it's Jesse James Comics. I saw an article on it today, but they are banned for life from selling Bad Idea books. But I won't be talking about ENIAC because I did not get it. I forgot all about that book, to be honest. I completely forgot until I saw the articles coming out about it today. So America Chavez, the book focused a lot on her adopted family, and her powers keep kind of fizzling out. There's a mystery villain. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it. It was about a 6 6.5. But I feel like it's worth a buy, at least on digital. A train wreck of a book that I have been not loving lately. Avengers 43 came out, and I don't know what the fuck Jason Aaron's doing on this book at this point. I really don't. I like this whole battle royale to see who gets the Phoenix Force, and then the Phoenix is Thor's mother. Spoilers. It's just a train wreck, and I really do not understand why they're doing this or what the point of it is. I dislike this. This was a 4 for me out of 10. Like, it just... I didn't find anything redeeming about it at all. Like, just... I didn't love it. Did not one bit. Going through this now. Batman number 106. Out of all the Tinian books, I thought this wasn't too bad. I like the redesign of Scarecrow. It's kind of creepy, and it's a little bit of that Arkham game series vibe to it. And 100, the Jen Bartel cover was 100% worth getting the Avengers for, no lie. Like, it's just, I actually tried to read it, and oof, boy. We do in this issue get a little tiny cameo of Miracle Molly, which I don't know if it's going to make this book shoot up. I don't know if this character is going to be worth it. I know the first full appearance of the character is 108, and also going to have the 2 variants, one by Art Germ and the 1 in 25 by Riccardo Federici, which the Federici one I think is awesome, that cover, but we'll see. They might as well have just changed the title of this book to Everybody Hates Batman, because that's basically what it is. Got a little bit of Ghostmaker in here, and their bro down, like, Rocky Apollo, like, sparring fight that goes on at the end. It's a weird book lately, but I thought this was probably one of Tinian's better issues of this run, at least in my opinion. I gotta say, he writes Harley better than most, at least in my opinion. I'll give this 7.5 out of 10. Like, I was kind of surprised, because I was like, okay, well, let's get ready for more of the same, and it wasn't that bad. In AWA Upshot, we got Chariot. I was not sure what to expect from Chariot, and I was pleasantly surprised. A spy hunter-like car that's got shields, can bang around with things. Starts out with a woman driving it, and it ends up in the water, and she's drowning in it. A light flashes. Scene end, and we end up going to a guy whose child is in the hospital. He's an ex-con. He's trying to figure out how to pay for his son's medical bills. He finds the car that we saw in the beginning of the book. And much like Christine, this fucker comes to life and saves him from some goons that were wanting to collect their money. And we see the female character at the beginning is like a hologram coming out of the car. She is like part of the car now. Really good first issue. I can't wait to see more of it. It moved well. The story was great. Brian Edward Hill was writing it. And the artist Priscilla Petrades. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that properly. 8.5 out of 10 for me on this one. Yeah, Tinian, this particular storyline will make or break Tinian's run, in my opinion. Because, I mean, he might also be stretching himself thin with all these other books he's doing. Ghostmaker, pretty much, I don't understand why he's even there, except for Batman's broke. That's it. Which also is a trope of Batman going broke, Bruce Wayne, because, I mean, shit, we did that in Dark Knight Rises. A book that I'm not sure how I feel about, the Crime Syndicate, part of the Infinite Frontier books that just dropped. This is issue 1 of 6. It's where the planet is basically analogs of our Justice League are the bad guys on that planet, and Lex Luthor's a good guy. It was interesting. It was a quick read. I just thought it was a little bit clumsily written. I wanted to like it because it'd be something new. Andy Schmidt, I'm not really up on his writing. And the artist Kieran McCown, I had never really seen before. The art wasn't that bad, though. Had a nice kinetic style to it. It actually flowed with the story. I just thought the story could have been better. Does give the origin of Ultraman in it, and not too bad. I'd say it's like a 6 out of 10 on this one. Dead Dog's Bite by Dark Horse. It is a mystery of a kidnapping. Well, not even a kidnapping. How you doing, PJ? This is a book about a girl who has disappeared. You have the bullied girl also in town, and everybody trying to figure out what happened to this girl. I'm at least in it for the next issue, and we'll see where we go. But I thought this was actually a rather strong issue, strong first issue. It's by Tyler Boss, who did 4 Kids Walk into a Bank for Black Mask. Probably about a 7 on this one for me. I thought it was not bad at all. Next up, we have one that has been hyped up because we keep seeing promotion for it. Demon Days X-Men by Peach Momoko. Luckily, her writing did not completely suck. She didn't Mirka Andolfo the shit out of this book. It plays on the whole Oni yokai Japanese feudal stories. The art style makes it kind of cutesy. We have analogs of other Marvel characters. Like the Hulk is an Oni in this. Logan is a wolf who is Psylocke, or their version of Psylocke, her companion. We have Venom or Orochi in it. We also have a version of Jubilee in this that is trying to get rid of Orochi, aka Venom, which is a giant venom-covered snake. It was a very kind of cute story. It went through quick, and then they kind of give you a rundown of what like the actual like old stories are in Japanese folklore at the end, and it goes into kind of leading into the next issue, which will be Demon Days Mariko. And there is her servant who has the Black Widow hair clip in the back of her hair at the end. I'm gonna give this about 7.5 out of 10. I liked it. I thought it was gonna suck. I really did, because there was so much hype, and like I'm always like dubious about artists that decide they're gonna start writing, because usually it ends up being kind of a clumsy mess. I did catch up on Fear Case by Matt Kint. I read issue 1 and 2, and I love the weirdness of it. The fact that there is this like case through history that's been going through everybody's hands, and like psychically people will touch it and it'll tell them they have 3 days to give it to someone they hate, or it'll end up with someone they love, and something horrible will happen. And the fact that the Secret Service used this as somewhat of like a hazing ritual, but you get to follow it for a year, and once the year's over, it goes to someone else. I was completely fascinated by that, and as a series, issue 1 and 2, I will give 8 out of 10. Issue 2 is not as strong as issue 1, but I actually really enjoyed it quite a bit. Hellions number 10. Why they decide Mr. Sinister is a comedy piece now, I don't understand, but this book continues to be funny, and I really don't care what else happens in the book. I'm just here for Sinister's dialogue. Like, I don't know why, but Zeb Wells just has created this like insane Mr. Sinister persona now that he's kind of a joke. He's not sinister at all. He's just a dick. There's nothing about this book I actually love except for the sinister dialogue, like the back and forth he has with people. 6.5 out of 10 for me. Like, Mr. Sinister is why you come for this book, like 100%. Infinite Frontier number 0. So this spins right out of Death Metal, whatever issue. I can't even remember if it was the spin-off issue or the last issue, but 100% PJ. Like, Mr. Sinister has just become this like ongoing jokey character, and I guess no other writer really thought of doing that with him, like, at all. Like, this new Hickman verse, it's like, oh no, Sinister's a joke. So Wonder Woman comes into this reborn universe, and she meets with what they call the Quintessence: Phantom Stranger, Spectre, Ganthet, High God, and I want to say it's Hippolyta. I can't remember the character, the female's name. So she goes around with the Spectre looking at this new universe, and we get our first mention of Shazam. The Shazam, Black Adam's now going as Shazam. I hope they're going to explain this at some point, but kind of odd. We also go into Gotham City, and we get this Arkham story, which ends up tying into Suicide Squad that just came out, the Infinite Frontier. And also into Nubia. So it's previewing everything coming out. We also get a little bit of Yara Flor before she became Wonder Woman, Wonder Girl, whatever they're going to call her now. And she's doing American Sign Language. The Justice Society, we have Alan Scott come out as gay, which has been done before on that Earth 2 book during the New 52. It's whatever. It shows a little bit of Teen Titans and Red X taking his mask out. It's a whole lot of just building up to what this was, but it wasn't a bad like preview issue for this new universe. So I appreciated it. And the Green Lantern part actually was the worst in my opinion, as was the Flash. The end is what you're here for this book for, the epilogue, which they're unnerfing a cosmic character and making him scary again. You might have seen already, but it's Darkseid, and he's more powerful than ever. For a preview issue of things to come, I could give this a 7 and feel good about it. The epilogue being the best part. And you'll see why when you get to that. For Marvel, we have the last issue of Thunderbolts. It's the biggest group of dicks ever assembled. It's actually, I think, in my opinion, better than Suicide Squad, because these characters are even more schmoey than normal. Especially with Taskmaster as the leader. Really fun book. Matthew Rosenberg did a good job bringing the humor in it, and Ferreira's art is, while dark, just works on this book. You'd almost think it was written by Garth Ennis at points because of how dicky the writing is. As a series, I'd give this an 8. This book in particular, I think this might have been like the weakest issue, but I'd still put it at about a 7. I caught up on Man-Bat. Series isn't bad. Not totally loving it. Kind of want to see where it goes, but 100. But I feel like it's going to be a good trade. Oh, Thunderbolts is just, I want this to be an ongoing now. I honestly do after this is done. But even the Taskmaster series by Jed MacKay, I've really liked. This Taskmaster renaissance going on. I'm here for it. I got the digital Milestone Returns I was interested in seeing what they were going to do with this. So this is previewing all the Milestone books coming out after it's almost 25, 30 years now. So they kind of give in this little bit of the origins of the characters, give you a nice intro to it, multiple artists on it. It's kind of a nice refresher for it. I'm hoping they re-release the old Milestone books, just like the original graphic novels for those books, just to get people the opportunity to read those books by McDuffie and a bunch of other creators. I'm excited for this to come back, and I feel like they made the good choice of going digital first on it, so that way basically they can kind of gauge the sales, and maybe they'll put it out in print form eventually, or every couple of issues. I think that's probably the safest release for them. But I really enjoyed some of the stories in here, and it was nice to kind of see these characters come back instead of like, I think it was Justice League back when McDuffie was writing it. They came back for like a minute and then they were gone again, which they keep doing that, where Icon will show up for issues of Superman. From Image Comics, and formerly a Kickstarter book, which they came out on Kickstarter, and from Image, Nocterra #1 by Scott Snyder and Tony Daniel. I went into this expecting to hate it. I don't know why. I think I was sour on the whole fact that it was a Kickstarter book that they were crowdfunding, and then all of a sudden they were like, oh, by the way, it's coming out from Image. So I was sour on it before I even like started reading it. And I ended up being pleasantly surprised by the concept of it. The character Val Riggs, aka Sundog, I kind of grew to really like reading this. Her brother, I not so much. Emery's kind of a putz. Tony Daniel's art was very much on point. I kind of enjoyed it. And then they talk about how, like, when the sun goes down in the world, like, it just becomes total darkness. And they called it PM. And when it happens, I think they call it 13 PM. So the world's dark. Everything has running on like these solar lights. People are trucking civilians in. That's what Val's job is, to the outpost. There are creatures that come out in the night, almost kind of like Pitch Black, except these fly. And there's some tense action moments in it while she's bringing the convoy in, and they're being attacked by the creatures, and the solar lights set it off all over at this outpost, kind of like drive them away, kind of like burn them almost. And I don't really want to spoil the end, but I actually really enjoy this. Now, will issue 2 be good? I have no idea, but I thought this was a very good first issue. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I surprisingly enjoyed it, which I was not expecting at all. Now, Scott Snyder, if it starts to get to an end, I have full faith that he'll fuck it up, because every book of his, the end has always fallen flat. Just like his idol, Stephen King. Terry Moore, Serial #2. I might be a week behind on this. I couldn't remember where it was in my reading pile. I love this book. This has been a fantastic book so far. Yes, it's black and white. It's kind of annoying to a degree, but I do like a murder book, and this one has been good. It's totally out of Terry Moore's wheelhouse. Like, he usually does all this like feel good shit, and this is some brutal murder shit here, and I'm totally down for it. This is 8 out of 10. If you can find the issues, pick it up. It is a quick read though, for the money. That kind of was the one thing that bothered me, the money price versus what content wise you got. See, for part of their Infinite Frontier, Suicide Squad, the new one. Man, I feel like we're about to get Peacemaker shoved down our throat because of John Cena and this fucking movie coming out. I've always found Peacemaker to be a bland character. This was actually, though, a very action-packed issue. Some really shitty characters in this too, like just real shitty. People drop quickly, and this ties into the Infinite Frontier #0, where there is a gas attack at Arkham, and they're in Arkham trying to get Talon out, aka William Cobb. And that's basically the whole story, and Amanda Waller versus Rick Flag. Again, fast-moving issue, and I'm curious to pick up issue 2 now, because I don't know if this team, the way it ended, is going to appear again. So we'll have to see. 7 out of 10 on this. The other Infinite Frontier book that came out was Swamp Thing by Ram V and Mike Perkins. Yeah, Suicide Squad was a lot of fun. Like, substance-wise, I didn't think there was a lot there, but like it was an enjoyable read. Like, it constantly was moving. Whereas Swamp Thing was psychological. I was just about to get into that. Opens up with talking about blowflies and how their life cycle is. And this tale of the pale wanderer. And it starts to set the stage about this character that just wandered into the desert to get away from life, and out there became something else. And, you know, every couple of years people would find him, like he'd be in the barrels drinking crude oil, and just the body changing over the years and killing people. And then we end up meeting our protagonist, who is coming from India to New York, and he's having a dream that of when he was in India and seeing kind of a ritual happening, and he's feeling sick, goes in the bathroom, and turns into a plant and blows up the plane. Just a very brutal scene, and find out it's all a dream. But more and more as this book goes on, you find out more and more of what went on when he was in India, and his brother making a dark bargain. And we get a little bit of swampy showdown with the Pale Wanderer. I really liked Ram V's writing on this. I knew it was going to be a different take on Swamp Thing, and I think that's kind of cool. I'm kind of feeling it. Like it vibed well with me. 9 out of 10 for me on this issue. I really dug like the reinvention of the character. Will it stick? Probably not, but I was very interested to see how they were going to play this out. So far, Infinite Frontier. It was a good DC week for me. Like, I left not disappointed. Like, I walked away entertained by what they put out. I also picked up Undone by Blood, but I don't remember picking up the original issues. So I didn't feel lost, but I felt like I was missing something. I'm not sure what. But the first issue, the other side of this Other Side of Eden series, I thought was actually rather decent. I just felt like I was missing something, but still, even with that, I would have given it about a 6.5. I think that was it for my pull list this week. I didn't have a ton. I was a little bit weak this week on that. But I did want to get into a little bit of Wanda Vision. I'm going to avoid spoilers here, so I'm open for a dialogue on this. I thought the last 2 episodes were some of the best of the series. The way they ended it was very good, and then bringing up something from old Marvel books that always tied in with the supernatural characters, I thought was great. I really want to see a Darcy and Jimmy Woo series. I think that would be fantastic to have them together. I gotta dance around this. Also, there's two credit scenes. There's a mid-credit and a post-credit scene, one tying into Captain Marvel 2, one tying into Doctor Strange 2 and Spider-Man. So totally interested in seeing where they go, and unfortunately we have to wait a year for that. But we get Winter Soldier and Falcon, I think the 16th of this month. So I am stoked for that to start. So let me know, what have you guys been picking up? Hit me in the chat. Let's discuss some stuff. Probably going to cut this show not to an hour, or maybe an hour today, somewhere around there. Are there any series you guys are reading that I should be checking out? I am behind on my read pile. I'm, say, 102 books behind right now. I am still sitting on Scout's Honor, unfortunately, which I keep getting told to read. Abbott. Kanto has been sitting here forever, and I have not read it. I still haven't finished Last God yet. That's still the last issue. And I'm behind on Monstrous. And Sword and Savage Avengers and everything else. And Star Wars The High Republic, apparently. Well, I weirdly ran out of content early today, so. Okay. Alrighty then. Well, I guess since I ran out of stuff, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for a really quick episode today, which not a bad thing. Anytime I'm not arguing with anybody on here is a good time. So that being said, everybody, like I said, I ran out of stuff to review, and okay, hold on. Picked up Batman, Swamp Thing, Suicide Squad, Thunderbolts. I am behind on X-Force. I think I read at least volume 1, and then whatever tie-ins were for Ten of Swords, and I fell behind right after that. I'm about 2 issues behind. But Beast is quite a dick in the series. I'm in a weird love-hate relationship right now with X Factor. I can't figure out if I like the book or I hate the book. But there's characters in there I like reading. And I think since Ten of Swords, New Mutants has actually become a stronger book. Very much so. And I am looking forward to whatever this Reign of X thing happening, which I imagine is going to tie up and end Hickman's run. So I'm curious how, whoever takes over after is going to undo everything Hickman's done or untangle this universe he built. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end it. Everybody have a great Friday. Thank you for coming by and chatting and listening to me BS about some books that came out. And check us out next Thursday for the Tag Team Thursday, starting with Rod Just a Rican at 6:30, 6:45 with John's Comics with Kids, 7 o'clock Old Wolf, 7:15 me, 7:30 Comics Kings, and then ending with No Good Comics, Justin. And we have a book club coming up sometime this month. I'll let everybody know. And I am starting a once-a-month movie show with Carlito. We haven't figured out a name for it, but I think we're going to end up talking about the Snyder Cut after that releases for the first episode. So that should be fun because it's a 4-hour fucking movie. Take care, everybody. Have a good night and have a great weekend. Bye.